everybody, and a very good morning to all of you. It's an October Tuesday morning and you are tuned into NTV Sports watching Good Morning Sri Lanka with me, Wasam, and on the set we have Amaya.
Good morning, Wasam.
Good morning, and of course on Good Morning Sri Lanka we talk about Wasam. On Good Morning Sri Lanka we usually talk about the randomest of topics, and sometimes because the randomest of things can actually turn into art if you think about it. What do you think, Amaya?
Definitely, and especially when you're at a lecture or you're bored, there are certain things we do, right? Wasam, we maybe do a few doodles. If you turn on to the back of any person's book, I think you will find a lot going on at the back there more than on the front where you're supposed to have your notes.
Now I'm picking on something which Amaya said. Now she mentioned the word doodle, and not many of us may be very familiar with this term, but of course if you're a follower of what usually Google does, you must have come across the term Google Doodle a lot. But then again, when I walked in this morning into the studio and I heard that we were going to talk about doodles, I asked Amaya, okay Amaya, I know I've heard this term, but what exactly is a doodle? Okay, but we're going to find out more about this, and we have somebody in the studio who is an expert when it comes to doodles. So, good morning, Irushi.
Good morning, Wasam and Amaya.
Irushi Tennakon, who is the founder of Iru's Doodles.
Yeah, that's right.
You kind of sometimes need to have a few vocal exercises to get that thing pronounced right. So it's doodles, Irushi?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay, so why don't you first tell our viewers what exactly is a doodle?
So a doodle, I suppose, a proper definition of a doodle is something that you draw without, really thinking about it too much. So that's how it started. Like you said, I used to doodle on my class notes, and then after school, on my lecture notes in uni. So, and one of my friends, she was like, you know what, people want you to draw more, so why don't you, make a Facebook page and actually get paid for what you love doing. So that's sort of how it all started.
So I know that people will definitely not want to pay for any of my doodles, but I think your sense of, drawing and the sense of style has really taken it to the next level. So this is a doodle, but it's to the next level. So that's why you call it a D-doodle. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, what's with D-doodle? What is D-doodle? Okay. Is it something you came up with?
No, that was something I came up with my friends, so let's not really go into it. I don't think there's a proper meaning behind it. It's just, there's a ring to it. So.
Okay, so hang on. Now you said, like a doodle is something where, it could be a simple sketch.
Yeah.
Or a simple scribble of something. And of course there has to be a story behind it, right?
Yeah.
And
so how would you describe your style of doodling?
Right, so obviously first I used to just draw with my ballpoint pens or my gel pens on my books, but when people actually wanted me to draw cards and stuff, I couldn't really stick to that. I had to, I started experimenting with watercolors and, different mediums actually, and it became a different, it sort of evolved from doodles, I suppose, to something new, but it's still called Iru's Doodles.
Okay, so basically when you say, you used watercolors and used other tools to get these done. Now, when it comes to doodles, is it restricted to just a sketch, or does it go beyond? I'm trying to understand what it's all about here.
Obviously I try to capture what I'm drawing the best possible way, so I just expand on it, I suppose. Like I would just sketch and then maybe just add in a little more detail, so it's more than just a sketch.
So more than just a sketch is what Irushi promises. I think we need to take a look at some of these doodles.
Yeah, because also they say, Amaya, they say that, especially when it comes to kids, when they're in school, the teachers sometimes show their parents sketches of what they've drawn in school, and they say that, these sketches are things that go on in the kids' head because it's a portrayal of their thoughts. So right now we're going to have a look at some of Irushi's doodles, and let's see if we can identify what her thought process is about. So we've got one there. Tell us a little bit about that, Irushi.
Okay, so I've got my geography a little mixed up in that, but that was for a friend who's in a long distance relationship.
Oh wow.
And this one was I just love watching the clouds and imagining that when they look like animals, they sometimes make animal shapes. These are two of my best friends and myself. We went to Gaul and we just sat under a tree the whole day and played guitar. It was one of the best days of my life.
Wow,
that's me and my dad at one of our estates, just chilling, drinking tea, and with our puppy. So
They're really eye-catching though.
Okay.
You, I'm guessing.
That's me, yeah. I try to play a little bit of guitar, so there are a lot of guitars.
Something we need to talk about later on.
Okay.
And your hair's much longer, we'll talk about
I
that
know.
too.
I scuba dive and I love whales. I've never seen a whale. I hope to see a whale one day, so that is just a dream. That was for 1 Billion Rising.
Oh, yes.
This against
violence
against women. So Iru Rising. That was me. I was upset for a while about something, and then I just realized we all float on. It's based on a song by Modest Mouse. That was for a kid's first year birthday invitation.
Wow.
So the theme was Nyla had a little lamb. Her name is Nyla, so one of my friend's daughters. It's me traveling in the car. You know how you watch the moon and it seems to follow the car. So I just love staring out of the window. Just a random floaty day.
It's a happy day, I think.
Yeah,
I feel very happy when I look at this particular doodle. All rainbows and hearts.
Yeah.
So there you go. In a snapshot, we kind of figured out what Irushi's been thinking about lately.
I like what you're thinking right here. It's a very happy place to be, I think.
Thank you. Thanks. That's sort of what it's all about. I mean, I try to make people happy with what I do.
So I mean, the first thing that related to me when I had a look at your doodles is the fact that it looked a lot like cartoons. So what's the difference between a cartoon and a doodle?
I suppose a doodle, I mean, it's not that I'm not saying that like a lot of thought doesn't go into it, but I think a cartoon is, well, I don't know, there's more of a story behind it, whereas a doodle is, you know, it's done quicker, it's done with less thought.
So have you ever thought of, you know, getting into cartooning?
Definitely. I mean, I wanted to. When I was little, I wanted to voice at, you know, somewhere like Disney or something. That was one of my dreams. And I wanted to draw in a big place like that. But now, this is what I'm doing for now. I don't know. I hope to learn art maybe later on in uni if I can.
But what were your influences at home for you to sort of, you know, I'm sure there was something there behind, you know, taking a step further to making this something that you do for as a business and something as you do online.
Okay, so perhaps my biggest influence is, well, children's literature, right? I mean, I know I just finished a degree in English literature, but I still love my kids' books. So my library at home is probably most, you know, I mean, the books that I have, like most of my books are kids' books. So
and which authors have inspired you the most?
Quentin Blake, who draws for Roald Dahl books, and Dr. Seuss.
That is true, and there's a lot of similarity between what you see in Roald Dahl's books and what you see in your drawings, I think.
I've heard that.
Yes, definitely.
That's a huge compliment, thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
I
guess that's why it started, the drawing. Obviously local artists as well, like Sibyl Vettasinghe and Isari Dayaratna. So, they're all amazing and very inspirational. So.
It's taking your doodling to the next level. And speaking about that, now you've gone on from your love of just reading children's books and having them with you to illustrating, which is a great step. So let's talk more about that.
Okay, so I just illustrated a book called Pestering Annie, and it was written by a lady called Marianne John Pillay, who used to be my neighbor, so that's a story in itself, actually. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is I sort of illustrated it in the middle of my exams.
I see.
Yeah.
That's a very good idea.
Hang on.
Doodle
now, when you say middle of your exams, are you talking about, you know, while you were studying or while you were actually at the examination hall?
No. While I was studying. that would be sort of stressful.
I'm a little relieved now.
Okay.
But have you doodled in the middle of your exam as well?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, if I finish a little early, I do.
That's true.
Which is
they give you a lot of extra papers.
I mean, come on, Amaya, you and I, I'm sure we've done it so many times. We just didn't know that it was a doodle.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I've done it so many times when I was at a lecture, you know, if the lecture was really boring, I just take my pen, not at just lectures, I mean at a meeting in general, you know, we just tend to start scribbling things on the page.
Boss is not watching the show right now. Just switch it off. Yeah. Just a little while.
Well, I've done it a lot at meetings actually, and sometimes, you know, you get into it and you're so serious about it that the other person doesn't want to disturb you because he or she thinks that, you know, you're actually doing some serious work.
Yeah.
Reminds me of this one time where I walked into one of my friend's offices and I saw him behind a computer, right? And he was like, he looked as if you know, he was really stressed out, and he was like so into what he was doing on his machine, and I felt really bad because, you know, I thought I was going to go disturb him, but then when I actually went to his machine, I saw he was playing Counter-Strike.
I see.
And he was actually shooting a few people off. So this is the kind of impression you give, that sometimes you might actually be trying a doodle.
Do you find that it's very disturbing when you're in the middle of, you know, a great doodle and someone just comes and disturbs you? Do you get annoyed?
Well, not really. I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't easily lose my temper. I hope not. But
I don't know. I guess we would have to ask all the people around.
I know.
No, I don't think you don't look like a person who loses their temper very soon.
No, but not if someone disturbs me when I'm drawing.
And tell us a little bit about this Facebook page. Actually, I think most of those images which we showed our viewers are from your Facebook page.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was created by a friend of mine who's studying abroad now, and she was just like, you know, just go ahead, do it. You know, let people order stuff because they love it.
Okay, what do you mean? I'm going to stop you there. I'm sorry. What do you mean order stuff?
Oh, right. Okay. So people actually send me requests through the page, and sometimes they're people I don't know, right? And they would say, "It's my first year anniversary," or
wow.
I know, or you know, it's my wife's birthday. I want a card drawn, or I want something drawn to frame and have it up in our room or something.
So basically, they send you pictures of themselves and say,
exactly.
"Can you see if you can do a doodle version?"
Yeah, I know. And so what I tell them is, I need to know a little bit. I mean, especially if I don't know them, I say, I need you to send me a little paragraph, you know, about the person and a little bit about your relationship, so I can add in the little details, you know, like that just, you know, makes it more special for them, I suppose.
Superb.
And it makes it special for you as well, because you're connecting with so many people now.
I know, it's actually quite an honor to be part of their special occasion, you know. It makes me happy.
So what are your favorites? Anniversaries, birthdays, or just random doodles?
Well, it doesn't really matter, because whoever's asking for it, it's to make someone else happy. So that just makes me happy to be part of it. You know?
And they pay you for this, right?
Yes, they do. That's the best part. Actually,
talk about getting paid for something you love doing, right?
Yeah, that's what happens when you turn a passion into something else, and something that's very much bigger than that. Alright, so with that, I think we have to go for a very short break, but we'll have Irushi back on the next segment as well, and she'll be drawing something for us. And following that, we'll be speaking to someone who's here to speak to us about the Serendip Cup, which is happening here in Sri Lanka, and that's a big step for Sri Lankan rugby. And do stay with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka, because we'll be back with more great segments.